Fall Guys Ultimate Knockout, made by Mediatonic, recently hit the world of gaming and blew up from day one. Quite literally, it blew up. There were so many people that wanted to play this dang game that the servers couldn't quite handle it at first. Everyone and their grandpa's been playing this game. Seriously, my 90-year-old Italian granddad, he doesn't know what the internet is, but he loves Fall Guys. You may have even caught some of my Twitch streams where I've been playing the game for just under 22 hours. It's nearly a day of my life. It's nearly a whole day of my life, and I would do it all over again. I've basically spent a day playing this game, and I've even won a couple of times. If you're not familiar with this game, you basically play as this jelly bean-ass looking dude. They're 6 feet tall, which is actually pretty intimidating. See, I'm just over 6 foot myself, so to see a gigantic, rotund Fall Guy barging through my door is the kind of concept that makes me wake up in the night in a cold sweat. I like Visual Ronin's depiction of what they look like inside. I've always wondered what their guts would look like, and this really scratched that itch. And so, biology lesson aside, you adorn your Fall Guy with fun, wacky, whimsical costumes as you race through perilous obstacle courses trying to be the last Fall Guy standing. That is right, in the world of Fall Guys, there can be only one. Like all video games that hit just right, fans have of course flexed their creative fingertips to create all manner of fan art, plushies, figurines, cakes. There's cake. I saw a cake. And now I have to throw my sandwich into the lunchbox, if I may use an analogy that doesn't quite makes sense. I was having a look on the Fall Guys website, and they actually ran a competition to include fan-made costumes in the game. Now, the competition is sadly closed at the minute, but they provided you with this rad little template to work off of. So I took to Twitter and asked you for suggestions of things or characters you'd like to see transformed into a costume. And as always, you guys delivered the goods. Lots of wonderful suggestions. I've picked some out and we're good to go. Now, as of recording this video, I've already done the artwork, so I'm gonna be talking you through the process behind each one. Let's go! On Twitter, one suggested the mafia leader, Tom Nook. Ah yes, Tom Nook, Mr. Thomas Nookington. So I started by sketching out what was essentially a kind of a fursuit for the Fall Guy. Now let's not beat around the bush, that's essentially what this would be, a sort of a tanuki fursuit, which I don't know if exists already. If it does, where could I purchase one? Hit me up. And the rough design came together pretty nicely actually. I based it off of Tom Nook in New Horizons, so we're gonna go for that lovely tropical shirt and shorts combo. I was actually very pleasantly surprised how easily this one all fit together. I thought it was going to be a little bit more tricky to figure out, but yeah, we've gone for this kind of Five Nights at Freddy's-esque stuffing a Fall Guy into an animatronic Tom Nook look. Get the animatronic Tom Nook look this summer only. I was very happy with how it came together, so I gave it a splash of color, and we were basically done. And bam presto, there we go. There's our Tom Nook. You know what? I think it works. I think it works nicely. If Fall Guys ever did an Animal Crossing crossover, it'd be one of these. It'd be beautiful. Morningstar suggested a rocket costume. Now, you know me. You know I love my space, I love my rockets, I love my planets, I love my intergalactic adventures. So a rocket costume felt like a natural fit. No pun intended. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I found this one incredibly difficult. It took me a couple of attempts and actually a couple of recordings to get to one that I was kind of happy with. At first, I was trying to base it off of my own rocket design of my pin, my rocket pin, but it just for some reason wasn't working out. So I went back to the drawing board, quite literally, and I tried a bit more of a traditional route with the rocket. Just a more rounded, simpler rocket, and I figured that I would reference my own ship creation when I came to coloring it in. And actually, if this was designed correctly and 3D modeled properly by the Fall Guys team, I think a rocket would be really cool. I would wear a rocket. I think it'd be hilarious on the whirligig level if everybody's wearing rocket costumes and they're just getting bashed about and everyone's flying across the stage as a rocket. Make it happen, Mediatonic. I got my eyes on you. Now, to be in keeping with the Fall Guys aesthetic of everything being a little bit chonky, for lack of a better word, I opted to make the rocket a little chonkier, you know? Just a little bit, a little wider, a little shorter. I kind of like the direction it went. It made it a little bit cuter, maybe, a little bit more original, I don't know. And there we go. There's our rocket Fall Guy. He turned out okay. This could have gone very wrong, and it turned out okay. I'm pretty pleased with where we ended up. Bella Boo suggested a can of beans. Now I had to double check there wasn't already a can of beans in the game, because there's quite a lot of food items. But no, I don't believe beans had been done yet. So I went for a pretty classic can design. You know, I'm not breaking any boundaries here, not breaking the mold, not reinventing the can of beans here, but it's a can of beans. What do you want from me? What do you want from me, huh? Fun fact, I don't really like baked beans. That's not really that fun, but it is a fact. And so, yeah, another costume was born, and honestly, I can imagine this one in the game. I can see beans in the game. Okay, next, from my Patreon Discord, Matt has suggested the Knight from Hollow Knight. Now, this one was a bit of a challenge for many reasons. The Knight from Hollow Knight is a petite little dude, so to adapt that to, as we said earlier, the chonky Fall Guys aesthetic was a bit of a challenge. Not an impossible one, but it was a challenge. It was really tricky to make the head not just look like it was constantly surprised. It actually really reminds me of that episode of the Powerpuff Girls, where you've got those dudes who dressed up like the Powerpuff Girls and the heads didn't fit quite right. It looks a bit like that. But I think as it went on, the design kept taking shape. I moved things around, I repositioned the horns a bit, I repositioned the eyes. I spent way too long trying to figure out the cape, and I still don't think I did figure out in the end. Now, I'm sure somebody with the right skill set could design this properly, but if Mediatonic and Team Cherry did one of these, I'm just saying, I think it works. Because there we go, there's our little knight, and just look at him, look at him. How cute, wouldn't you love to play as this little dude? I know you would, I know you want to. We all want to. Next up on Twitter, Marigold suggests Sans. Now, yes, it is another video game crossover, but they are a joy to draw. Now, Sans I found a little tricky, which might surprise you, because Sans and the Fall Guys have quite a similar body type. I think, again, like always, the difficult thing was figuring out the placement of the head and how that's all gonna work. I think knowing where to put the facial features and how they sit around the existing face of the Fall Guy is the challenge most of the time when you're adapting an already existing character to a costume. And so in the end, what I kind of opted to do was take the mouth and kind of like cut it in half and just put it either side of the face. And maybe it's not the slickest look. I think it actually isn't too bad. I think it actually kind of conveys the mascot kind of look. You can kind of imagine this guy cheering on a football team, you know, maybe throwing out a few puns. Again, I don't know if there's scope for a Mediatonic and Toby Fox crossover. I'm just saying, it works. Just look at that. Isn't he adorable? Look at his slippers. Look at his slippers. Don't you want to wear his slippers? I know I do. Next up, a little blast from the past. Alex Jackson on Twitter requests any of the monsters from Oscar's Hotel. That was a challenge I was definitely up for. If you're not familiar, Oscar's Hotel was a show I made a few years back now. Currently, you can watch it on Amazon Prime Video if you're interested in checking it out. And so I thought, what character or characters would be fun to draw? And you know what? I had to go for the ones that were already gigantic puppeteered costumes, as I thought it could work quite nicely. That is the repossession fish, Albert and Norbert. Like I said, when we made the show, the Jim Henson Creature Shop made these two gigantic fish costumes, which was already surreal enough for me. But they worked so well, and they've got that big, round, rotund look that I think would work really nicely for a Fall Guys costume. So I got sketching it out. Obviously, I had to make everything a little more squashed than usual because they are quite tall, and I got all the features in there. I drew its adorable little suit. And the thing I love most about this one is it does look like it's kind of going, ooh, but I think it works quite nicely with the fish because they're such expressive characters anyway. It's all very surreal, I know. This might be a lot to take in. Sit down if you're not already sitting down. After I drew one and colored it in, I thought, you know what, I can't just do the one because there are two fish. So I duplicated it, did a little bit of a palette swapping. I took the greens and I colored them purple, and before we know it, bam, we got two repossession fish. Count them, two. Again, I think these work really quite nicely as costumes. So Mediatonic, if you want them, let me know. The next suggestion comes from myself. I wanted to draw this because I don't believe I saw anyone suggest it, and that is, of course, the classic video game character, Super Mario. My best friend in the world, Super Mario. This one I probably could have done without drawing, and the main reason for that is it turned out a little horrifying. Maybe because it's a kind of a humanoid character, and I hadn't really done one of those yet, but there was just something about it for me that was not working. Don't get me wrong, I really liked how it started to look after I sketched it out, but there was something wrong about it. There was something very unnerving about it. It might have been the eyes. It very well may have been the eyes. Either way, I persevered, I kept drawing, and I got it to a position that I was actually pretty happy with. There aren't many instances where Nintendo have let their golden boy be in another developer's game. Ubisoft definitely proved that it can be done right with Mario and Rabbids, and honestly, a little Mario and Luigi costume in Fall Guys, it might break gaming history. Can you imagine Mario doing the slime climb? It's perfect. It's a game about jumping. That's like Mario's thing. Mario put jumping on the map. I don't know if it would ever happen, but a guy can dream. Once I'd colored it in and we had those nice, recognizable Mario reds and blues, we were all good. We were all good. A little horrifying. Okay, it's a little horrifying. It's not. There's something not natural about it. It's just remind yourself. It's just a mascot. It's your friendly neighborhood Mario mascot. And finally on Twitter, Rotten Island suggested The Saddest Ghost. Ooh, this one gave me great pleasure. This one I was really, really excited to draw. If nobody suggested it, I would have drawn it anyway. The Sad Ghost, as you probably know, is a little creation of my own. He even has his own little plushie, so you know he's special. You know it's special. The thing that really intrigued me about doing this one is that The Sad Ghost is an incredibly simple design. Super, super simple. And I just wanted to make sure that it translated well enough. And you know what? I think it works quite well. The top half is the head, the eyes, and the mouth, which, by the way, the mouth sits nicely over the curve of the Fall Guy's face. And then the bottom half is the flowy ghost bottom. What do you call that? What is the name of that? A ghost's, it's not a tail. Legs? The ghosts don't have legs. Let me know in the comments. What's the word for that? What is this part of the ghost? Look at that. Wouldn't you want to play as the sad ghost? You do want to play as the sad ghost, don't you? I know you do. And that is all of the costumes for today. Look, I am fully aware that licensing characters from other franchises is no easy task. It's just not. Hence why it took us so long to get Banjo-Kazooie in Smash, where they belong. But, Mediatonic, if you're watching, if you want a little sad ghost in your game, I'm totally down for that. Hit me up, let's talk. I'm very serious. Oh, speaking of sad ghosts, I've got some brand new sad ghost themed apparel on KickThePj.com right now. I've got a new t-shirt, a lovely hat, a pin badge. I'm calling it the So Sad Collection. If you want to grab any of these new lovely products or even a sad ghost itself, head on over to KickThePj.com to check it all out. I very much appreciate it and it supports me greatly, so please do check it out. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, please do give it a thumbs up and also subscribe if you happen to be new around here. And you know what? Whilst you're at it, hit that notification bell so then you get updates of when I upload videos. This has been such a genuinely fun video to make. Like I said at the beginning of the video, I've been playing a lot of Fall Guys and I really, really like the game a lot. So thank you very much to Mediatonic for making a game that has given us so much fun and joy in this strange period of our lives. Do you want to see another video like this? Because I would happily do another one making more Fall Guys costumes. If so, leave some suggestions for costumes in the comments and I'll see what I can do. Make sure to check out my Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch, and also my Patreon, and of course my online shop, KickThePj.com, if you want to support me further. Thank you very kindly, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Stay rad, be safe, I'll see you next time. Bye.